Hey, Tim, this is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your shows, Truckers' Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out there to tune in and listen, call in, be a part of it. It's a great show.
Hey, this is Chuck Lopesiger, and I listen to Truckers' Voices every Thursday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook or YouTube with host Tim Taylor and co-host Steve Brand, because it keeps me informed about the industry and the drivers that keep our country moving forward. Don't forget, Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brad. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Hi, this is Tony Wainwright. I hope you enjoy listening to Truckers' Voices as much as I do. Now, without any further ado, kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen to another fine show.
Well, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I hope that you had that good day of trucking that only you can have, because you know what? It's up to you to make your day the best it is. Trucking's always been a good thing for me, and I enjoy it so much. I think it's one of the best jobs in the world. Who else gets an office view like we do? We have the ever-changing view. Hey, yeah, sometimes there'll be some things coming there sometimes that might kind of, aggravate you a little bit. But if you do it long enough and expect it, you can handle it better. So I hope everybody's doing good. We got a good show for you tonight. We got a gentleman on here by the name of John Everhart. I know John pretty good myself. I've had the pleasure of working with him on some safety events. But anyway, we're going to bring him on in here. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody, I'll remind you at the end of the show also, we have the safety drive for a cure coming up in just a short few days. So if some of you are over there on the safety drive for a cure page watching us on this tonight, hey, y'all go get registered. Herschel needs to know who's coming and who's not coming. He's getting ready to put the T-shirt order in. So if y'all go ahead and get registered, and that would help him out tremendously. And I look forward to seeing you there this year. I got some good stuff. One good thing, two or three good things I'm bringing to give away for a raffle this year. So anyway, y'all do that. But hey, I'm going to bring that other old guy in here named Steve Brand, my co-host, and let him get in here and talk to you guys a little bit.
Hey Tim, Steve. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I am doing absolutely wonderful. How are you? And I'm going to back my mic off a little bit because I think I got a little bit of too much gain in there. Is that better?
There you go. You sound good. You sound good, man. I hope everybody out there in trucking land's doing good. Hope everybody had a good day, good week. In trucking land's doing good. Hope everybody had a good day, good week. In trucking land's doing good. Hope everybody had Is that you? Is that you? You got more gizmos and gadgets and everything else, man. I'm telling you what.
I'm actually, to let you know, I'm actually monitoring the page, and when I clicked on it, I forgot to turn the microphone off. So, there's a little bit of delay in there. So I do apologize to the listening audience out there. Hey, every week there's going to be something technical that we have to deal with. So, yeah, We're just amateurs. We just truck drivers. That's all we are, Steve.
Well, man, it was kind of cool hearing myself. That's why I bought a radio with the talkback so I can get on them other channels. I just sit there and talk to myself. I like to hear myself talk. So, some of the best conversations I had with myself, I don't always agree with myself, but hey, it is what it is. But how's your weather been down there? It's been kind of a roller coaster up here. It's been nice and warm. It's been a little rainy. We're supposed to get a little rain coming in tomorrow. So,
Yeah, I got into it today up there in Atlanta today. When I left South Georgia, headed to Atlanta, it was mist and rain and, overcast all day. But, we've had some warm weather. There's springs in the air, pollen's on all the cars down here. We got things blooming and everything else. So, hey, spring's right around the corner, my brother.
This past weekend, I had to make a trip down to Tennessee. My daughter lives down in Maryville, Tennessee, and we's coming home Monday, and I had several pickup trucks pass me that had pollen all over their tonneau covers, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. My eyes started itching just looking at it, so with the rain coming in tomorrow, and I've been watching the Weather Channel. They got all them storms down there in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and all that. Man, everybody be careful. Be safe. Slow down. It's not worth it. Like tomorrow when I leave out, I just slow down. You'll get there when you get there, man. They can't use the freight till you get there, and you want to get there. That's the thing. You want to get there.
Yeah, that's that's the key to it every day that we preach out here.
Well, that is, man. I tell you, it's in this beautiful weather. It's kind of brought a little craziness out, So people just need to slow down. It's all good. We'll make it. We'll make it. But,
hey, I have got a little video that I forgot about. I was going to show it last week, and I'm gonna pull that up right now. Hey, it's funny, and it's political a little bit, so I don't want nobody to get their feelings hurt. You got to see the humor in this video I got here, okay? So,
bring it on.
So let me bring this in here, all right?
Bro, every time I grab the stick shift and switch gears, I miss my show. Yeah, back in the day, I used to be a truck driver. So, you were not a truck driver. Hey, come on, man. I got more miles in reverse than you got going forward. Ain't that the truth? So, how you start this thing? All right, guys. Let's go rescue Justin. I'm on my way. Me too. I knew they'd come and help me, eh? So, is like truck driving like bartending? It never fails. Us Democrats have to fix everything. So we're packing up our trucks, spending way too much money for diesel. Thanks, Joe Biden. And we're headed to Canada to save Justin. I'm not hiding it. This just happens to be one of my vacation houses, hoser. Damn, Joe! We really did it! It feels good to be back in the truck. Hey, wait a minute. Where the hell am I?
All right. I had to poke a little fun there. So anyway, I've seen that the other day. I thought it was pretty funny. So I hope I didn't offend anybody out there. So,
anyway. That's too good. That's a scary thought, though, that they possibly could be truck drivers.
Well, somebody thought they was a truck driver one time.
Well, we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. But,
all right, we've belabored this point long enough, and let's go ahead and bring our special guest in here. So let's get ready to welcome Mr. John Everhart to the show. John, how you doing tonight?
How's everybody doing? Tim, Steve?
Doing great, John. Good to see you, brother.
It is absolutely a pleasure to have you in here tonight.
Thank you.
So with that said, the audience wants to give you a hand.
Sounds good.
All right. So that's our virtual audience there. We got plenty of people out there looking at what's going on tonight. And we do appreciate you coming on the show. John, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us where you reside.
I reside in Churchill, Maryland, which is on the eastern shore of Maryland. And I work up in Savage, Maryland by Fort Meade, NSA.
Okay. All right. So who do you work for, if you don't mind me asking?
FedEx Freight.
FedEx Freight. How long have you been in the trucking industry altogether, John?
Oh, my God. 35 years.
35 years. So
Yeah.
has your career, the 35 years that you've been working, been exclusively with FedEx, or
No.
did you work? Okay, all right. And that's where I was trying to get you to go there. And I want to just you to tell your story and
Okay.
tell us, John, how from the time if you went to school for trucking or whatever, just tell us your story how you got into this trucking industry.
Well, my wife's grandfather was a truck driver for years. He worked for a company called Adley. They were long out of business before I even started to think about driving. But had 3 kids. I was working at Johns Hopkins University. $8 an hour, just wasn't getting it. I talked to her grandfather. He said, you might want to think about driving a truck. So I made the announcement. Don, my wife, was behind me on this. My family was not. Mother, father, brother, sister. They thought it was the worst thing I could ever do. My wife stood behind me. I went to truck driving school. Then nobody would hire me. So, I went to every LTL carrier there was. Name them, I was there. And then finally, I think it was 1988 or 87, Ward Trucking moved in to Maryland. So I applied. And, back then trucking was different back in the early 80s. It wasn't like it is now. So when I met the man, I kind of got the idea of if he didn't want to hear from me, he's going to tell me to stop calling. So I just kept calling him. So finally I got a road test. The safety man didn't want to hire me for lack of experience. I kept bugging the guy. He finally said, you know what? I'm either going to hire you or you're going to keep bugging me. So he hired me. And I started there, I think in 1988, I think it was. And I stayed there till 1996 and then started at American Freightways in August 8th, 1986.
Okay. So tell me, I'm going to back up in your story here just a
Sure.
little bit. Tell me a little bit about why your family wouldn't want you to get into the trucking industry, if you don't mind divulging.
No, I don't mind at all. No, they thought that I would never be home. I'd be out on the road. I had 3 kids. I was only thinking of myself, all this kind of stuff. You don't make any money, you're anything you could imagine. And I left the house, my sister's house, actually. It was on Christmas. And I said to my wife, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. She says, what do you want to do? I said, well, I really want to try to do this driving thing. She said, then do it. And I went and got a student loan, and here I am today.
So John, tell me a little bit about that experience as far as going through truck driving school, because I never went to school myself. I kind of grew up on the farm.
Right.
Always had, the advantage of being around heavy equipment and graduated myself through the process. So tell me about your process of going through and getting your CDL.
It wasn't much. It was supposed to be like classroom and then driving, but it was it's not like what we had with our program. Okay, our program is a lot different than what I went through. It was, I went in, once they got that seemed like once they got the check, it was just a matter of, let's see if we can't get you down there to get your license. Schoolwork didn't really matter. The driving part, was okay. And I think they were just like a mill to move drivers in and out just to get the money. They went out of business like a year after I got my license.
So do you think that you receive adequate training there at that school, or is it just with a stepping process to kind of get you into the industry?
Stepping process to get me into the industry.
Okay. All right. So if you had it to do over with, you probably would want to be better trained, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I learned more. Well, when I got hired at Ward, it was, you might have to work the dock. You mind that you're going to ride with somebody. I rode with a man named John Deloach. The first day he was kind of nervous. Second day he was okay. The third day he would take a nap, and we'd run around East Baltimore making deliveries and pickups. And he'd tell me where to go. I'd go, and everything was fine. But I learned more from that man because he was driving for 20 or 25 years than I did the whole time I was at school. So I think by having an experienced driver with you is much more than just sitting in a classroom and being put in a truck and say, here, turn the key and go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that some of our CDL training schools today, I think they can do a better job of it. And especially with the idea of having the 18-year-olds fixing to hopefully come on board and fill the gap of the driver shortage, there's absolutely going to have to be a better, more adapt training program with more hours. So,
Yeah, a lot.
yeah, Steve.
Did you say you started with American Freightways, what, August of 96?
Yeah, August 8th, 1996. Yeah.
I started in July
Yeah.
14th of 96, so, yeah. I went to a truck driving school, a local school down there in Crystal City, Missouri. Now, those guys, in my opinion, did a fabulous job. They was ex-drivers. Some of them still had their own trucks, had people in them. But, we started out in the classroom. We went out, we did the pre-trip. They put us on a shifting course. And, I mean, it was great. They did a fine job. But I know there's a lot of schools out there that it's, like you said, it's just hurry up, get this guy's license. He'll figure it out.
Exactly.
But so have you done city pretty much all your life, or you run the road? Or
No, I was I worked after I was a P&D driver at Ward Trucking, and then they made me an inbound supervisor. So I did that, and then I got a call one day, and I figured, well, maybe I'll try CCX, and that was probably the worst choice I ever made. And then so then I filled an application because, I mean, really, CCX, if you mentioned American Freightways, that was grounds for termination at that point. They did not want to hear anything about American Freightways. They just moved into Baltimore, and that was just a bad word. So, but I applied there, and I waited a month. Nobody was calling me back, because it was hard to get hired back then. So a dispatcher that I had when I worked at Ward Trucking transferred to Charleston, South Carolina with his wife. She worked for Chevron, better paying job. He went down there. I called him and I said, what's going on with this American Freightways thing? He said, call me tomorrow. So I called the guy the next day. I said, Randy, what's going on? He said, call this guy, Phil Lohman. So I did. And I get on the phone with the center manager at American Freightways. He goes, I talked to the operations manager down there in Charleston, South Carolina. I said, okay. Randy was not an operations manager. He was a city driver that came in and ratted the bills and then went out and made deliveries. And he said, you need to hire this guy. That's how I got hired on at American Freightways. And I was hired as a supervisor. And I was a supervisor for about a year. Got to know Pat Reed really, really well. I really liked him. He was one of the executives that would come down and work the dock. You never see that anymore. He'd come down and he'd put an old uniform on and go out and work the worst trailers we possibly had. Floor-loaded trailers with jeans and stuff. If you guys might remember the Levi's coming through.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but he'd get right in there and jump right in there. And he was just a great guy. And then I went back into the city from there and then to the road. And I've been on the road a long time now, seems like.
Copy that. Hey, real quick, off the trucking thing.
Sure.
How close are you to the port where Carnival cruise ships take off out of Baltimore?
I'm probably about 60 miles away.
60 miles away?
Yeah.
Okay. Me and my wife do cruising, and we're considering maybe jumping out east and hitting a cruise port out there instead of Miami or something like that. But
yeah, come on over.
Okay.
We went out. Yeah, come on over. I'll take you out fishing on the boat before you go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. I just had to throw that it's it's one of them things when the thought hits you, I better say something because that thought just kind of goes away and it'll never come back. So sorry about that, Tim.
Hey, it ain't no problem. Hey, John, transitioning from American Freightways into FedEx, over the years, whenever we was American Freightways, we used to have the, all the business principles, and the last one was have fun. Do you still think that it's a fun job for you?
Sometimes it is. I mean, I have a very hard area where I drive at every day. We call it the Fruit Loop we have to go through because we have Maryland, DC, and Virginia. And we go right through the middle and all these government offices. It's a mess, and you have to really, you have to be 110%. There is no not feeling bad and coming to work and you just can't do it. Something's going to happen. You've got to be on your game every day. And luckily, I've been on my game every day. But we still have a good time. We do.
Yeah, I can definitely understand if you go through DC, call it the Fruit Loop for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of that, so where does your run take you every day exactly?
I go to Kenly, North Carolina, and back every day. So it's about 606 miles every day round trip.
Okay. So do you go to a drop meet point or do you go to a customer service center?
No, we go to a meet point, a truck stop. We go to the Kenly truck stop. It's right off exit 106. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back in your career, backing up a little bit, and I know I'm kind of traveling back a little bit.
No, you go ahead.
Tell me a little bit about the company that you started out with named Adley.
Now, that was my wife's grandfather. He worked for Adley. Yeah, they were out of business long before I got into driving. I mean, he drove for them maybe 30 years. He started hauling coal back in the 20s up to Jersey and stuff. So, and talking to him, he made a good living doing that. And actually, my first paycheck from Ward Trucking, I brought home more than I grossed at Johns Hopkins when I worked at the post office over there. So it really helped us out with the kids. My wife could stay home. She didn't have to go to work when I got home. It made life a lot better,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about over your career, some of the, accolades that you've accomplished here at FedEx Freight.
Do you guys know Brian Pullen?
He used to be my service manager.
I don't.
Good man. Man.
He's a very good man. My son, well, let me back up. My son was an operations manager at FedEx. My daughter worked at West Baltimore. She was the go-to person in the office. And I have both my nephews working there and then me. So, of course, my son doesn't work there anymore. I mean, he was there for 17 years. My daughter was like 13. My one nephew got deployed, so he's not back yet. And my other nephew, which is his twin brother, is a city driver. So, but getting back to Brian Pullen, I worked real closely for over a year with Pat Reed, real closely. And I make a joke about it that I'm the only person in this company that's ever been chewed out by Pat Reed and been chewed out with Pat Reed, sitting next to him getting yelled at. So yeah, it's and funny thing, when they built the new Hagerstown terminal, Pat Reed came out to see that new center, and he walked everybody around and he said the same thing that happened to me and him. He said, "You want to show me what's in the yard, or do I need to go look for myself?" And he didn't quite say it like that, but I'm being nice because we got to be G out here. And my son goes, "My dad said you were going to say that." He goes, "And who's your father?" He said, "John Everhart." He goes, "Yeah, there's a funny story about that. You should talk to him." And that was the time me and Pat got chewed out. It was something. It was funny. I'll never forget that day. I looked at him and went, "Thanks a lot."
Well, one thing by meeting Pat Reed before, I do like the fact that he would come in and he would sit down with you and he would be right there beside you. So I don't think there's nobody that, I know that could say that he didn't get in there and help get the job done for sure.
He did. And then, he moved on up, and then eventually, he got to where he was going to retire. So, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad. You miss some of those guys that you come along with, and like Brian, he was in Baltimore one time, and I asked my son, he goes, "What time does your father leave?" He goes, 6 o'clock. He said, "I'll be there." I was like, "Yeah, right." I got there at 10 minutes to 6. Brian was already there, just to see me, not to talk about work. How's the kids doing? How's the wife doing? Just sit there and talk. I got a letter sitting on my table in the kitchen right now that he took the time to say, "Way to go, big guy." because it came out in the Freight Daily that I hit that 25 years safe driving.
Right.
He took the time just to highlight my name, write me a little thing down and just send it to me. Stuff like that. It's a good guy, man. He really is.
That goes a long way.
Doesn't it, though?
That goes a long way. We just had our 25 years, 4 of us, and I got mine back in July, August, right in that area. And things is so chaotic with the freight up and down and the furloughs and the COVID and all that stuff coming out. And so we just did one about a month and a half ago. They took us over here to local steakhouse, and Brian was there and Marty was there, Gorman and
Gorman. He was my center manager at one time.
Was he really?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. He's over the district here. And, but we just talked about all the people that actually come through the Dayton Center and look where they're at today.
Exactly.
Jeff First. Jeff First was the assistant center manager when I come down and worked the shuttle out of Toledo. I used to be out of Toledo, and I took the transfer down here, and it's just, it's a great company. And, they've gotten so big that a lot of the upper echelon, they can't get out like they want to. They can't get out and do that one-on-one and talk to people. And like you said, go out there and throw that freight around. You look up, and you look up, you didn't know who was on a forklift.
Exactly. At one time, yeah. Exactly. I mean, when we moved, when I was running nights, running to the hub in Williamsport, we were pushing probably almost 1 million pounds of freight across a 25-door dock. And we do that in 3 or 4 hours and be moving. And then when they moved it to Snowshoe, then things weren't kind of working the way it should have been, because some other people came in they had their way of doing things. And Brian showed up. He was like, "You guys are running 10 bills an hour in Williamsport. What is going on?" I said, "We need to do it our way. You need to leave us alone. Let us do what we do best." And we came in on a Thursday. Everybody was back up to 10 bills an hour, and it's been running smooth ever since, as far as I can tell.
Right.
Brian listened. He just sat down and listened. We weren't bad mouthing anybody. We just let us do our thing, and that's he did.
Right. Exactly. So you've always been in the LTL. You never run coast to coast like your family was afraid that you was going to go out and be gone 30, 45 days at a time and never come home. And
because my girls are 3 days shy of a year apart. And my son's going to be 40 years old come July. So, it's made a good living for us. And I brought the kids into it to do it. And they were all respected. I mean, I can't think of anything bad about the company at all. I mean, like you said, that we have some people that they're just not happy, and you can't change it,
Nah, you can't make everybody happy, but I'm pretty happy to put on that uniform every morning, go to work. And, now that I've got a job that I'm home every day, I bit my teeth on the 30, 45 days gone at a time. And I did that for 7 years, but I'm still proud to shut the door on that truck, go down the highway.
Oh yeah.
And getting the opportunity to talk to people about trucks and trucking and the safety part around it and driving around them. That's my passion right there.
We had a guy, the intersection right down the street from my house. It seems like every week there's an accident. So they put a thing up. That's kind of off topic. I'm sorry, but
that's fine.
My wife talked to the guy at from the state of Maryland, and they're going to change the way they do this intersection down here, because we have some young girls get killed down there. And she told him what I do and where I was last week over in Delaware doing a Share the Road program with the high school kids. He said, "You know how many kids' lives you're saving, your husband's saving over there?" He said, "You know how many kids' lives you're saving, your husband's saving over there?"
Tim's playing with his buttons.
I know, I hear him.
It just started talking. It just started talking on its own. I do apologize.
Hey, it's like your talk back on your CV.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a guy who's from the state saying, "Well, we need to do this in Maryland. Your husband is saving lives by doing what he's doing." So it makes you feel good when that happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's that's something we got to get the word out here. And like I was saying in the beginning when we started the show, it's going to be raining tomorrow. Slow down. Slow down. And, put that phone down. I'm starting to see more and more people that phone up, and it's like, put that phone down, folks. And I know these new cars have got, the Bluetooth hookup and everything, and these headsets, you can hook them up. You can say, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Fred," or whoever it is you talk to, and you can send a text, verbally. You don't have to touch nothing. And I mean, just to, I was talking to some truck drivers the other day at my meet point, and we was just kind of shooting a breeze, and and we was just talking, and I think I might have learned them a thing or two. They was very appreciative, and that's something I always say I miss is the round tables in the truck stops, where you could go in and have a conversation with people, and stuff. But yeah, that's awesome. I hope something materializes at state of Maryland.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, I'm trying to get to this in the school. They have I gave my daughter Don Logan's number for the call.
I have no idea what that was about.
I have no idea.
Working on that.
What in the world? Is that you?
Amen.
Yes, Siri's working on it. I don't know what she's doing. But
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Sorry.
Hey, so I'm actually looking at comments over here to the right side. I got several comments over here, John, that I don't know who it is because they didn't give StreamYard permission, but I do see their comments. But one of them talks to, they must know you. Can you see comments on there, Steve?
Yeah, but I don't. It just says Facebook user. I don't see a whole lot of names.
I can only imagine if there's some of the drivers I go down the road with, or I know throughout the company.
Yeah. So this user right here was saying, I wonder if John can see the comments. Well, if I put them up there, you can see the comments. So I don't know who this Facebook user is.
I got an idea who that might be.
Okay, and then they said this one said, I think he can go back later and see them, but and we're all proud of you, Dad. So you know who that is.
I know who that is. That's one of my kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This person said Brian Poland is awesome. So obviously you like to drive since that is what you're doing now. But do you miss the management side of it?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's I don't mind stepping in, and I have done that before where I've can you help out, and a story with Brian seen me on the telephone in City Dispatch one day. I was helping out. It was just crazy at that time. I believe it was like 2010, 2000. I was somewhere around there. And he said, I need to get you back in the office. Well, I'm a road driver. So I immediately turned around and handed him my paycheck. He said, no way. No way. But I do miss management in a way. I really do. I mean, I like the idea that we've got away from hiring from the outside, and we're starting to bring our own people up through the pipeline with the management programs and the driving programs.
Right.
And now we know what we're getting. So we're bringing them up. They're being trained the FedEx way. So there's no, well, we didn't do that over here. We didn't do that at Com. Well, you know what I mean? It's all connected together.
Right. And when you do that, you can actually hold people more accountable, and you can go back and you can say, oh, well, we train them this way. Maybe we missed something here, It's just not like bringing somebody off the street and then having to fix the problem.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
But I'm not going back to management.
Well,
Megan, she's here too, so she's just being silent.
She was she worked at West Baltimore, and she was like the go-to person there. I mean, Angelo Montgomery, right?
Who is that now?
Angelo Montgomery.
Oh yeah. I know Angelo. Yeah. We talked about that. I know Angelo very well. Yes.
He was like one of the best center managers that we had, and Megan was his go-to person. If there was something there was nothing in that office she couldn't do, and that they always went to her. And when Brian Pullen would come down, he always looked for us, and it might have intimidated some of the managers, maybe, because we were just because we knew the guy, you know what I mean? He was just different, but Megan, yeah, she did good. Johnny did good. My other daughter worked there for a while. She did good. I miss not having him there.
Now, where did Angelo end up going to?
Miami. Okay. He's down there. I talk to him every once in a while. I'll call him or he'll call me, and he's very expensive to live down there, he said.
Yes. Well, yeah. He was down there originally before he started making his way up to the management ranks. Because I actually first met him in Orlando. Also, somebody on here said, didn't Megan get an award at work too?
She did. Megan's going to have to tell you what it is. It was the what is that award? She saved a customer's shipment or money or something. They sent her to Memphis to get the award. I should know this. She's going to yell at me tomorrow.
Was it the Bravo Zulu?
I believe that is it. Yes.
Okay. And Purple Promise, somebody put on here too. Well, that's actually awesome. I'm going to throw up some pictures on here so you can kind of speak to some of the pictures that we got here. Okay.
Oh my God. All right.
So first one on the left here, John, tell us what that is going on there.
That was my 25-year service award.
Okay. All right.
And then, go ahead.
Now that was just for your service award. Have you hit your Master Safety Award? I'm sure you have.
I came. It's available February 14th, which I thought was next year, but it was actually last week. So I'm good. I'm just waiting for that stuff to come in now.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I hit mine back in October of last year, so I was glad to.
It's not an easy feat to do, but you can do it if you just have the right mindset when you go out. I mean, look, I've been married a long time. Okay, so she tries to make sure that I'm 110% when I walk out that door, or I'm going to work. I don't have all this stuff that goes on at home. You could have all this stuff going on, but she always made sure my mind was clear when I went out the door, just so I would be safe and come home and keep everybody else safe around me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Truck driving's like a marriage. You don't want to go to bed angry at each other. Do not walk out that, don't walk out that door already angry.
Yeah, you can't do it.
If something happens while you're hooking up, pre-tripping, post-tripping, somebody leaves you a flat tire or something, man, just go get it fixed. Yeah. If you smoke a cigarette, drink a Pepsi, a cup of coffee, calm down, take a breath.
Yeah, you have to
hit that road with a smile on your face, like that guy up there every morning. Yeah. He is the happiest guy I ever seen on them videos.
Ain't he though? He's very too happy. I mean,
wait a minute now. What are y'all talking about? I don't wake up that way. Let me tell you that. I don't wake up that way. But I do like to start out on
okay, wait a minute. I gotta go with this one. Look at that comment, the comment, Amen, Steve Branch. There's a story behind that. There's a story behind that. Yeah, that's
funny. My goodness. Yeah. All right, so the middle picture here, John, tell me a little bit about the middle picture here. So the listening audience doesn't know what's going on.
That was that was in 2018 when I went to Nationals for the first time.
Okay.
Twins.
And what class did you go in?
Twins.
And how did you fare at Nationals?
Oh, I didn't do very good, I don't think.
Okay.
No, I was so nervous. The very first time, I think I went through the course backwards. I mean, you're supposed to do something on the right. I did it on the left, It was a mess. But I had a good time, And it took me a long time to get there. I mean, I think 2003, I took third place first time, with American Freightways. And then nothing until 2016. I took second place. 2018 first place, and then I took third place last year. So, I stuck every time I would say, I'm not doing it this year. My RDA was like, too late, you already signed up. And my wife was like, no, you're doing it. So once she got to Nationals, I don't care if you ever win at Nationals, just get us there because it's
a hoot, ain't it?
It is something else, man. I was so amazed at what went on. It was unbelievable.
So, John, what award is this on the picture to the far right here?
First place in Twins in Maryland.
Okay, all right. And how many people did you have to beat out for first place there?
I think it was 18 or 19.
About 18 or 19 class. That's a pretty big class. Is that pretty average every year?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we usually have about 150 people, drivers attend, total.
Okay.
In the all the classes.
All right. So in this picture here, I know where you're at, and I know what you're doing. I even know the fellow that's sitting behind you in this picture. So talk to us about this right here a little bit.
We were talking to the kids in, I think it was Big Sky High School in Montana.
That's Big High. Yeah, that's Big Sky.
And the kids were pretty receptive on what we were saying. Their program that they have out there should be all over the country. It really should. The way they, the things they do with the kids. When we were in Butte, they were riding in golf carts, and they would put the goggles on like they were drinking, and then they would make them text while they were driving the golf cart around, and it just showed them what could happen in a 5-second span. And I think all schools should be doing what they're doing out in Montana. I really do. And I like talking to the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a joy when you come down to my local high school. And, of course, I run the same program down here at my local high school. But, yeah, there's nothing like it. And if you could change one kid's mindset about how to drive safely around our commercial vehicles, you've done your job.
I think we had a child at your wife's elementary school said he wanted to be a FedEx driver or delivery person or something like that. He went and told his parents that.
Yeah, sure did.
Yep.
Sure did. Well, all right. Well, we are at the quarter to the hour, and I'm going to open the phone line up here. If anybody wants to call in, we'll take a few questions. If nobody calls in, we'll just keep on talking like us truck drivers do. But, hey, listening audience, that number is 251-616-2151. And if you call and you don't get through, I'll call you back because I am having some problems with the phone line, but I do see them come through after the fact. So y'all give us a call, and we'll put you on the air here. If you got anything you want to say to Mr. John Everhart tonight. How about that, John? You ready to take some calls?
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll see.
I only imagine who's calling.
We'll see if anybody calls in here in a few minutes. Steve, I'll hush a little bit. Go ahead, Steve.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just enjoying it here. I seen there's a mutual friend of ours, John Nash. He said, hello, John. I seen that on there. John's a good guy. I went to Nationals in 2014 was my first time and only time so far. I just can't. I'm stuck in that rut, either third or fourth. I just.
Yeah, I get so aggravated sometimes, but I can only blame myself,
Well, that's it. And that's like this year, I was sitting in the assistant center manager's office filling out the questionnaire and everything to sign up for it. And he got to the point, he goes, what class? Tanker. He goes, what? I said, I ain't never done tanker. Let's go for it. I'm feeling frisky. Let's go for it. So it was kind of, I'm kind of anxious to get my book, start studying, and weather clear up and start practicing. And of course, I practice every day. We do every day.
We really do. And I talked to our new safety guy. I can't think of his last name, but his first name's Todd. You'll know him if you see. I see him at 4Cs, and he said that we're ordering the books from J.J. Keller now instead of waiting for the ATA to give them to us. So we're going to get them early, the middle of this month.
I noticed ATAs, I don't know, they had a little trouble. They put them out there for sale and then they drew it back. I guess they wasn't ready or something, and they're not doing this. They're not doing the CDs this year, and so I'm not real sure what's going on. But hey,
we'll get the books. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll get after it. Even though I can't get that book. I mean, I'm sorry. It comes all them numbers and everything. I get dyslexic and put this here.
First 3 pages, you start to fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first year I got the CD, I popped it in going down the road, and I thought, "Oh no,
Yeah,
we
this had
can't
to
do
come out. Yeah.
no.
I did the same thing. I bought them for like $70, and I came back home the next day. I said, "This isn't going to work."
So,
yeah,
so do you know this name on the screen here, John?
I do. I worked with Lee since I started. We've been together, and yeah, we do that. Yes, we do. Me, him, and Josh. Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, he put that on there. He said that you've already talked at least 2 hours today, so he's going to stay out of this one. So anyway, I was waiting to see if anybody would call in there. Hey, if any of you want to call in at 251-616-2151 and tell a story about John, we would appreciate it. That would be most helpful. So if you got a good story to tell about John, we don't want any bad stories now, but we want some good stories.
No bad ones. Yeah, no bad ones.
Yeah, we don't want one of them stories that he jumps the couch back there and goes through the window and takes off running down the block. Who do you meet down there? Not individual, but what terminal do you meet?
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah.
Okay. Savannah.
Okay. Yeah, I meet Pocono Summit every day.
Yeah, I used to go up there and work the dock years ago.
I went up there a couple times and spent the night up there because my main driver broke down or whatever it was, and I hear they've done a lot of remodeling up there, but I haven't been up there to check it out. Bring them on.
Bring them on.
Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here? Hey, how are you? I'm good. What do you want to say about Mr. John Everhart tonight?
Can't hear it out here, Tim.
Can't hear it.
Y'all can't hear it?
No.
They can't hear you for some odd reason. So let me see if I can adjust it here real quick. Okay? Just hold tight for us. I don't know what happened. Let me call them back, okay?
All right. SWR is too high.
Yep.
Standing waves out of whack.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't hear nothing, huh?
Nothing. No.
That's strange. All right. I'm gonna call him back. Y'all go ahead and talk. Y'all can hear it ringing, but I can call him back.
Was it a guy or a girl calling?
It was a girl.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I can already see that coming. You are in trouble.
Yeah, next week will be 40 years we've been married.
Hey, can you
you
guys hear her now?
No.
Can't
hear nothing.
I'm sorry, we're having trouble with the phone line tonight, and for some reason they can't hear you. I do apologize. You can, but I think it might be my phone on my end. Can y'all not hear her now?
No.
Wow. Okay. I do apologize. What do you want to say? I'll relay the message.
He's got that look.
I told you, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, dude.
I'll definitely relay it. Well, thank you for calling.
Now, if he hangs up and starts giggling, you're really in trouble.
He's smiling. It's not good.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
That was your granddaughter. And she said that you are a very patient person and that you have taught her to drive. And
that was my kind of,
Yep. It's a really nice girl. I'm sorry that didn't go through. I don't understand why.
You should have just asked her. She knows all that stuff. You know what I mean? Them kids, boy, they can go through that phone like there is no tomorrow.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
The best way I found to fix all problems with the phone, I just shut it off and then turn it back on. If it works, awesome. If it don't, fine too.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
It's
I've had problems with this phone for the last couple of weeks, and there for a long time we had it up and running good,
It happens.
Yeah. It does. Well, it is 8:53 here, and so we're going to kind of start bringing it into a close. But John, I tell you what, man, it's actually been good having you on here tonight, and you are a professional in the true sense of it all. And that's one reason I wanted to have you on here. And, just personally knowing you and how you carry yourself, I do appreciate everything that you do every day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Right. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, really? No,
He's shaking his head.
You talking to me? Okay. No. John, out of your road team events, what's your favorite events to do?
The high schools. I like doing the high schools, yeah.
Like a share the road program or a combination of maybe share the road, touch a truck type deal?
Yeah, we've kind of when I was in Delaware last week, they kind of set it up different. I was with Virginia Technical Institute, and they do a lot of like new equipment on the trucks. They do all the testing on them. So we had like a bunch of videos. Like obviously Tim has that video from AT&T that we put out. This guy actually has videos of what people have done and caused accidents with trucks. So it kind of gets the kids' interest when they see that. Right. And then when they get up into the truck, they kind of like it. They ask a lot of questions, and like I said, we want them to be safe, and we try to, here's one thing: take your phone. I got this from Bob Hare. Take your phone. Don't send a text. Oh, I want you to text. We're learning safe driving today, or defensive driving today, and I time them. Okay, and then when they say got it, I say, look, all right. It took you 10 seconds. How far did you go without looking? You just went 2 football fields, right? So we kind of put them in that mindset,
right.
Where to be at around the trucks, you know what I mean? And with like McKenna, my granddaughter just calling in, we have a lot of farm equipment down here, farm trucks, big trucks are running on down. When she's going to start driving soon, she's 15. I need her to be aware of what's going on around those trucks. Yes. Where she needs to be and where not to be, because we just, like I said, that 2 weeks ago, we just had 2 young girls get killed down the street. I don't want that to happen. Not happen.
No, you don't. Yeah, that's I kind of did mine. My oldest boy, he's 29, so just kind of watching, learning, talking to other captains before I even got on the team. I was kind of learning a few things, and all 3 of my kids went through the same driving school, and they all 3 had the same instructor. And by the time he got to my youngest boy, he looked at him and he says, "Is your dad, Steve?" He said, "Yep." He's like, "Okay, all right, I know what I'm dealing with now." But I even went and talked to him, and once I got on the team, I went and talked to him and was trying to get something set up with the share of the road program with him, and he never did get back with me. I don't think they had the funds or whatever at the time. I don't even know if that school is even in operation now, but but to get the chance to talk to these kids, and like you said, you got visuals. When you got visuals, they can relate to it, and man, it's just it's great there.
Bob right there, yeah. Bob's right there, yeah. He hopes to see me at the TDC, if not before, yeah. We're competing against each other in the TDC this year. And Bob, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, John, up there in Maryland, right? Isn't that where they filmed the Rocky movie at?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe now I think it was Philadelphia.
That's what I was thinking. On the steps was Philadelphia.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They had a show on HBO, I think it was, or something called The Wire.
Yeah.
That was filmed down in Baltimore City.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was Baltimore, but I was going to play.
Oh, here he goes.
Could y'all hear that?
Nope.
Nope.
Something's not going on this call.
Doesn't have a steering wheel on it, Tim. That's all it is.
I just hope he ends the show before we witness him throwing the headphones across the room and kicking and screaming and carrying on, because things just ain't working right tonight. But oh shoot,
it's all good. It's all good.
See what I told you when we was talking. It's just 3 truck drivers having a good time talking.
And we could go on for a long time talking too. You know that, right?
Yeah. You know,
We
so
sure can.
what time's your run started in the morning, John?
Right around 6:15, I try to get out. So I get up at 4 and leave at 5. It takes about an hour to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I leave about 7:15, 7:30, somewhere between there and there, and I'm out there by 11:45 noon, and take my mandatory 30-minute break.
Yep.
And
well, the thing is, it's a 5-minute. If I pull the gate, say at 6:15, okay, I can have a great day. If I pull the gate at 6:20, it's a horrible day.
Right.
You know, and it just gets worse as the morning goes on with the traffic and the people. They're just, they need to go back to driving school.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me ask you this. I used to go south to Cincinnati every day. And like you said, a 5-minute variation, you get into a different group of traffic, and it's ugly.
It is.
But when you get to running the same route all the time, you get to seeing the same cars, and you know what they're going to do. I mean, you know, this guy's going to exit 3, and he's going to wait till he gets 100 yards away, and he's going to shoot 4 lanes, 3 lanes, and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you see it. You just know what's going to happen. There's a guy who drives a Honda Civic. If I leave my yard at 6:30 in the morning, when I get to the split to go down 95 South off of 495, he's usually in that area somewhere in there. He's driving a Honda Civic, steering with his knees, eating a bowl of cereal. In that traffic. You know, you got 5 lanes of traffic, and it's all bumper to bumper, and he doesn't have a care in the world.
See, and that's the type of guy that you'd like to have a cup of coffee with him and just have a conversation. You know, not hateful, not mean and nasty. Just, hey man, let's talk. This is what I see. You know, do you realize what's going on here? You know, but it's just
you gotta try to be like the new guys. You know, I'll see some of the new guys that we have, and I'll try to say stuff to them. Now I'm going to say some things to them tomorrow if I see them, because something happened at our meet point, and you know, these guys have to be careful when they're doing their pre-trip. You know, when you're climbing underneath the truck, you have to make sure your brakes are set. And something happened to a truck driver down there, and he got crushed by the tractor, and they didn't find him until the next morning, which was this morning. So, you know, that it's sad that happened, but you got to be careful in everything you do. Like I know what we do. If nobody's going to break our routine, right? So if I'm hooking up my set, thank you for putting my dolly on there. You can tell me you don't need to get out of the truck. I got it. I'm still walking back there, right? Because I have to. It's like OCP. I got to see it. You know,
right.
If I feel safer when I hook my set than if I get a hook set. Yes. I love getting hook sets, but you really got to go over everything just to make sure everything's right before you go out. Because my worst fear is losing a trailer, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And I've gone this far, this long, you know, we've made it, right? So I want to keep going. I don't want to, just because I got that 25-year thing, I want to keep going. I don't want to stop now. You know?
Exactly. And I do a lot of this when I unhook or I'm hooking. I just kind of point to it, make sure I got it. Like you said, I don't break that routine. If the routine gets broke, I go back and start over.
You got to do it. You got to start over again. Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's just like you said. I appreciate you putting my dolly on, but I don't feel safe. I'm walking back there.
I got to.
I got to know it's on there. I got to know you put that pintle hook down. You know, it's just
exactly. Placards might not be on there. You know, I mean, you run across all different things. So it's up to us.
Do you catch it? It's TDC season. So do you catch yourself when the semis are rolling past you? You're looking, there's a defect. His license plate don't work. You know, okay. Let me ask you guys this: if the stickers, I have been noticing more and more trucks. I don't even see an IFTA sticker anywhere. Unless it's tucked up underneath the door somewhere where I can't see. But as it goes by, I don't see it on the hood. I don't see it on the door. I don't see it on the sleeper. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't see them. I see them on our trucks. That's it.
Yeah, and then the ones I like, the guy, it's got the 27-year-old truck. And he's got like 27 IFTA stickers. So I asked the DOT about it. I worked a scale house down there in Indiana, and I asked him, I said, is it legal or illegal? He goes, hey, if you're proud of your truck and you've owned it that long, that's fine. But you better have that one on there that I'm looking for.
That's right.
Yep. He says, it's not right or wrong if you're proud of it, but he said, why?
When we do these programs with Virginia Tech, the state police are always there. And these are, me and Bob went to Fairfax, Virginia, and we had a Virginia State Police were there, different ones, and they all work my area, okay, that I drive right through, So I'm constantly looking for them when I come by there because they were really cool. And then the one in Delaware, he was nice enough. He gave me this. He said, here, I want to give you this. And he gave me this Delaware State Police badge.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Oh, and, that is awesome.
He was just a decent guy, and he some guys have problems with the DOT, we usually pass. I don't, it just takes a long time. Just, Mondays and Fridays, please don't pull me for DOT.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I don't care, right? But Mondays and Fridays, you want to get home, Yeah. But they're usually they're pretty good with us. They like FedEx now. They do like us because they don't find anything wrong.
Well, that's exactly what I've had Ohio DOT and PUCO say. If I need one right at the end, I'll grab a FedEx because I know he'll pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, John, we are at 9:00
Okay.
Eastern. Can you believe it? We've had fun tonight.
I went fast.
So anyway, thank you for coming on. And we always ask our guests to leave the listening audience with some words of wisdom. So can you leave the listening audience with words of wisdom?
I can. One, you want to be safe out there. Make sure your brakes are set when you climb underneath your truck. And another thing, when you drop your trailers, okay, you don't have to wind the landing gear all the way down till you hear the airbags come up, okay? Just leave about maybe that much from the ground from your plate, and just let your airbags out. Let the truck do the work, okay? There's nothing worse than trying to go to hook up and you got 5 inches between your fifth wheel and your trailer, and you got that landing gear that doesn't want to go down, and you're huffing and you're puffing. So just do it. Work the job, guys. Don't let the job work you. It's real simple. It's not rocket science. It's just be careful, get out and get home.
Absolutely.
And have fun. And have fun doing it.
Well, thank you again. And Steve, words of advice, brother.
Most important trip of the day is a trip home. Be safe, everybody.
Absolutely. And I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Thank everybody for all the comments that come in. And thank you for trying to call in. So it is what it is. So one day we're not professionals. We don't get paid one red dime for this podcast here. But anyway, it's been good. It's actually been a great show. And y'all make sure that if you want to go back and listen to it, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. There's a lot of shows on there. If you want to go back and listen to them, y'all catch it on there. So anyway, with that said, y'all be safe. And hey, as I always say, look out for those who aren't looking out for themselves. Hey, I'm fixing to go to bed because tomorrow I got to go trucking.
That's it.
So y'all have a good night.